Hey everybody, it's Charlie, the Pennsylvania grain farmer, here in the red shed. It's Thursday, April the 14th, 2022. And I just thought I'd do a video here, kind of an update on where I am with the spring field work and, what I'm working on here today in the red shed, because although we had a pretty nice day yesterday, just about 80 degrees and a lot of sunshine, and the fields were starting to dry out. Now we're getting rain. Okay, so it just, I don't know, just doesn't end. But in any event, in terms of an update, you may remember a week or two ago, or I guess about 2 weeks ago, I did a video on my first plowing for the year. And the good news is last night, about 5:45, I finished up plowing for the year. I have about 77 acres that I moldboard plowed in this year, and that's for my 45 acres for my corn, 20 acres of soybeans, and about 12 acres of oats. So all that's plowed. I'm done plowing, so now I'm going to be getting the plow ready for winter, which may seem like it's funny to say whenever it's only April of this year, but the plow did its work for the year. And I do store it outside because it's not convenient to try to store it here in the red shed. So because it sits outside, I like to get it prepared for that. So one of the things that I do before I park it for the year is that I try to take care of all the wear points, that being the mold boards, the plow points or plow shares, the shins on the back side, the land sides, and also the coulters. And what I'll do with them is I'll paint them. Now, I don't know if that's a common practice. I assume that it is. I've seen other people do it, but I've seen a lot of people that don't. And for those of you who may not know or may not be farmers, if you don't paint these wear parts on the plow, from sitting out in the rain, by next year they'll be all rusty. And if they rust, then there's that much more metal you're going to be wearing off, whenever you put them in the ground. Then it also makes them harder to put in the ground. All right, it's now the next day. It's Friday, April the 15th. Yesterday when I began to do the video and was looking at this plow, I kind of got sidetracked because my buddy Ben came up on my request. Whenever I parked this tractor and plow the other day, I had a bad hydraulic leak on this white down underneath here, and it was difficult to see. But I wasn't sure where it was leaking or how that should be fixed. So my buddy Ben came up, who's an excellent mechanic, has a mobile mechanic business, and he stopped up and we took it apart and found out really it was just an O-ring, much to my relief. So we got that changed, and that's okay now. So in any event, today I finished up this plow, getting ready for storage. I got the bottoms all painted, all the wear parts, the coulters and everything, and I also greased the entire plow. This plow has over 41 grease fittings on it. There are 6 of them on each of these auto reset bottoms, and then whenever you count all the ones in the frame, as I said, there are over 41. So I like to put grease in things before I park them, especially before I park them outside, and that way as it rains you don't get grease or water in the bearings or other wear points where grease goes, because you have grease in there instead, and I think that helps preserve them. So this plow is ready to be parked for the winter, which is what I'm going to do now. I wanted to get this plow all ready before I unhooked it, because I don't like to hook the plow up more than once or twice in a given year, because hooking up a semi mounted plow by yourself isn't one of the easiest things to do. So I like to try to get all the plowing done and then unhook it for the year, which is what I'm going to do now. And then I'm going to hook into the disc and bring it down here to the red shed, do a little bit of greasing and checking, and then we're going to go out and disc in a little bit. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Well, it's just a little bit later. I have the white unhooked from the plow for the year, so it's parked until next spring, and it's all ready for, you know, the upcoming year of just sitting and waiting. And what I did since then was I hooked up my disc to the tractor. Now this disc is a 15-foot Krause, and I believe there's a sticker in the back here. Yeah, that identifies it as a 2200. Now actually I think it's a 2200 series. The actual model with the configuration I have with the 4 sets of wheels and you know, 15-foot wide, and being a rock flex as it is, I believe it's a 2242 model according to the book that I have. But this disc was made sometime in the 1990s, so it's not terribly old, but it's in really good shape. I kind of think that the previous owner had changed all the discs before I got it. But I bought this disc about 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was the year after I bought this tractor, because that was the idea behind getting this white, was so that I could pull bigger tillage equipment. That's why I got the bigger plow, and I went from a 10-foot disc to a 15-footer. Okay, and I really like this disc. It's well made. It has grease fittings on the gangs, and I've really enjoyed using it. I bought this about 75 miles away from home. It was listed on Craigslist, so I went down, took a look at it, made a deal with the guy, and I bought it. And then my brother-in-law and I hauled it home. It was too wide to pull down the road, so what we did was we took the outer wheel off on each side, and we also took the gangs off, all 4 of the gangs. So the gangs we put into my utility trailer, and then the frame and the remaining 2 wheels, you know, backed up nicely on my brother-in-law's trailer, and we got it home that way. And then once we did, we immediately assembled it, and it was ready to go. So what I'm going to do right now is, and I'm not going to really take any film of this, I'm going to grease it real quick. I greased it before I parked it last spring, but since it's been sitting out in the weather, I'm going to grease it again. I'm going to put fuel in the tractor, and then we're going to head out to the field and do some disking, and I want to get some video of that. I apologize for the wind noise. We have a wind advisory today until 8 p.m. and you know, I know it wreaks a little bit of havoc, but there's really not too much I can do. It's a nice day, and I'm doing something. I know people enjoy those Fieldwork videos, and I hate not to be able to record something. So again, forgive me for the wind noise, but I'm going to get this greased, get the tractor fueled up, and then we'll be on our way. Alright, we're coming out here to the first field that we're going to disc. So in a second here, I'm going to drop the disc down, and we're going to ready to go. Well, everybody, I tried. I took you the first time around the field from in the cab, which is difficult to do when I have to hold the phone, my camera, and, you know, try to drive and raise and lower the disc and everything. So I did that once around, and then I set my camera up on a tripod, but like I told you earlier, it's really windy, and even though I pushed the legs of the tripod down into the plowed ground here, both times, sometime when I was going around the field, it blew the camera over. So I haven't looked at it yet to see what I have, because I want to keep disking. I'll check it out tonight whenever I edit. So what you saw was after the ride around in the cab was we'll see at least pieces of 2 times around the field from a remote location. So I think that's going to do it for this one. The wind certainly is my friend today, but I hope you enjoyed the video anyways. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe if you already haven't, and if you have subscribed, I appreciate that very much. So this is Charlie, the Pennsylvania grain farmer, saying